What's up everyone, 124san's here, and today we are doing a quick draft of Edge of Eternities. Personally, I don't like this set, but playing it once in a while can't hurt. And without further ado, let's head to the pack one pick one. So this is a very strong pack. Obviously, we're gonna pick Nova Hellcat here, 3 mana 4/5 flying haste, deals 1 to any creature when it enters, and also can warp this for 3. That means you pay 3, you deal 1 to something, and then you hit them for 4. And then you can just cast the full thing again for 5 later. Very powerful card, in limited. And outside of Nova Hellcat, there's premium uncommon in blue, Uthor's Psionicist, 3 mana 2/4. Makes your second spell cost 2 less, which is a lot. This thing can discount a lot of things, and the second spell theme is pretty well supported in this format because of all the warps, because a warp spell is basically 2 spells in 1 card, and the warp cost is also cheaper, allowing you to cast a further spell first and then the other stuff later. And even outside of the Uthor's Psionicist, there's also Cryogen Relic, which is probably the best common in this set, in blue and in this set. This is just 2 mana draw 1 when it enters or leaves. And so the floor of this card is basically 4 mana draw 2, but you can use other effects to sacrifice this. For example, Swarm Color is one of such effects, even though Swarm Color is not good. You can use Swarm Color to sacrifice an artifact, so you don't need to pay the 2 to get the card draw. And this card is even good without any sort of artifact sack effect. It's good by itself, period. And there's also Galactic Wayfarer, which is green's premium common, 3 mana 3/3, makes a lander, and landers are basically Wayfarer's bauble as a token. So this can color fixes you, can ramp you, or you can just use the lander to do artifact sacrifice shenanigans. Although lander is the way to color fix in this format, because this format doesn't have a dual land in the land slot, so there's only 13 picks per pack. Yeah, even though lander can be used for color fixing, first you're paying 2 mana for it, and second, it also comes in tapped. So it is color fixing isn't actually that good in this set, unless you are like green and have access to a lot of landers and ramps. Oh yeah, that's enough talking for the pack on pick one. Just gonna take the rear, Nova Hellcat. And I don't think the aforementioned 3 good cards will in quick draft, but let's see. Pack 1, pick 2. The rear is more of a commander card. That was your enter trigger. It does work with Nova Hellcat, but I'm not gonna pick this right now. Instead, we have a premium uncommon, Glacier Godmaw. This is basically Crater Hoof. Poor man's Crater Hoof, but it's pretty good because it can give your entire board vigilance and haste, including itself if you play Godmaw first and then play a land. And even in late game when you have like 0 cards in your hand outside of Godmaw, you can play Godmaw and the Godmaw just generates its own lander to trigger the landfall. It's so powerful. Gonna take this, the other good cards. Grave Attack Mono is for black, Depressure is for black, and I think that's pretty much it. Pack 1, pick 3. A red card, Defying Filler, and this is good if you know we are doing ramp stuff. And it is not good for any deck that's not doing ramp, because it is 7 mana investments after all, without any alternative cast cost. I don't think Diplomatic Relation is the best card in the pack as a green removal. Actually, no. I think Diplomatic Relationship is fine, and if you have the 2 mana artifact earlier, Self-Craft Mechan is a very good card to go with it, but we don't have that. Just gonna pick the Diplomatic Relations to go with Godmaw. Pick 4. The green card is pretty decent. Use social engineering. 5 mana, enchantment, landfall to make a 2/2 robot. So this is very similar to the Chocobo racetrack in Final Fantasy, but it has an alternate cost of warp, so you can just warp this for 2 and play a land. So you have a creature already, which makes this card 10 times better than Chocobo racetrack because of the flexibility. And any other noticeable cards? I don't think so. Actually, Purge Beckoner is the best black creature, probably. Competes with the Monolith. Yeah, that's something to look out for. Although I don't know if boss is tuned to draft that or not. Pack 1, pick 5. Even though we have a red rare, we can certainly go for green in this pick too. I like Galactic Wayfarer much more than Bombard. Bombard is a removal, so you may do 4 instant speed, but it doesn't. The problem of Bombard is it does nothing to big creatures, and this set is not short of big creatures. So just gonna take Galactic Wayfarer and stay in mostly green for now. But we can still splash Nova Hellkite, if anything. Pack 1, pick 6. Just gonna pick the best card here because the red and green are pretty mediocre. Best card here is the Scorpion Blast. Bounce something, and if it's attacking, you make a 1/1 drone. So yeah, this is a very strong tempo card, especially needed for like the ramp deck, like this one. We're probably doing ramp. Pack 1, pick 7. No green, no red. So just gonna pick Star Breach Well here. It can be played on 2 and on 5. And Evil Light Jammer is also a decent combat trick. It's to protect something really important, but Glacier Golem is already like 7 mana. If you want to play Golem while having this, you need 9 mana. So I don't think I should take this that high. Let's take the whale first. Pick 8. Don't think we're scouring anything for scrap right now. This thing is good if you have good artifacts in your deck, and you also need like a decent quantity, so that you can make sure you have a artifact in the graveyard when you cast this to get the 2/1. For this deck though, just gonna take it down of a Sentinel, which is a fairly sweet tool that untap stuff. You can use this to untap lands. Also, pick 9. Best card here, Cav Landseeker. And yeah, I think this is a pack with the Galactic Wayfarer and the 2 mana blue artifact. I like Cav Landseeker much more than Drake's Fatemaker. You only want Drake's Fatemaker when you're playing green-white, or if you care about warp a lot. Pick 10. Blue cards pretty whatever. Do I like a Wormhole Sweeper or Chrome Companion? I think I like Wormhole Sweeper more actually. It also works well with Nanoform Sentinel, because you can just tap this and then this untap stuff. Pack 11. This card is main deckable. Pack 12. I'm never gonna main deck a Sinister Cryologist. So let's take Operative. Pack 2, pick 1. And I think with this pack we are gonna play blue, greens, maybe splash red for Nova Hellkites, but splashing for the 2-pip is a little bit of tall order. Unless we are actually ditching green, which is also a possibility. Green is not that open in pack 1. So for pack 2, pick 1, we're definitely taking Web Walking, 6 mana. When it enters, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library and draw 7. And it gives both player first spell for free. And looks like your opponents will get the benefits first because they get to untap and cast anything first. But if they don't have any cards, then you are just gonna come out ahead with the fresh hand of 7. But this is definitely a bump. Taking this, sadly passing the Coldcracker Hunt. This is the best uncommon in blue. Swimming a 2/1, basically ups a card. Also card selection from the top 2. And you can also warp this for even more card draw. which is basically a strict upgrade of Sipsig Appraiser from Akira Dragonstorm. And Sipsig Appraiser is the premium common there, so pretty powerful card. Pick 2. We're just gonna continue the trend of picking good blue rares or mythics. Synthesizer Lab Ships makes a artifact 2/2 and flying, as long as you station this for 2. And if you station this for 9, it's flying vigilance. So to make this work, you need to have decent amount of artifacts like Wormwell Sweeper, the Lander Token Makers, something like that. We will keep that in mind while drafting. And it doesn't care about the artifact is creature or non-creature, so you can just use this to target something like 124san's, so it makes it flying even though it loses 1. Alright, then back to pick 3. As much as I want to take the Cold Cracker Hand, I think a Lavo Scoutlander, this means we can just force Green here, and it also makes Nova Hellkite Splash 10 times better because you can just use this to fetch for 2 resources. And this is a very strong card by itself. 3 mana, you do sack a land and get 2, or you can sack a lander, which is much better because that means you don't need to pay the 2 to sack a lander. And it's a flying 3/3 later on. Pretty busted card. And we are also sadly passing over the plunge, the best red removal, because it has a huge range of 6 damage, while also makes a lander token if it overkills something. Well, gonna take Lava Scoutlander, and we are playing blue, green at the core. Back to pick 4, happy to take Cryo Shatter. Really efficient removal, basically just gets rid of any attacker or blocker. It doesn't shut down abilities, but that's a downside of being a 1 mana removal. Back to pick 5. We are picking between an Uthor Scanship, which is a decent 4-drop, or a Cryo Shatter, which is a early game removal that this deck needs to survive the early game. So let's just take another Cryo Shatter here. Back to pick 6. Gonna take a Harmonious Growth Strider, 5 mana, 5/5. Power and toughness scales with the number of lands you control, and it doesn't do anything else. It doesn't even have trample, but it's just a big thing. And this set heavily favors big stats like Growth Strider, Glacial Armor, stuff like that. If this doesn't exist, I probably don't want to take Kevlan Landseeker on Splash, so it probably has to be a Drix Fate Maker, or even a Mechan's Shieldmate for blocks. Pick 7. We can pick a Mechanozoa to warp this in and stun something early, and cast a 6/5/5 later, or we can take an Unravel for a cancel effects of this format. I think I like Mechanozoa more, because we are gonna have a lot of mana, so we can cast. We're gonna have access to the 6 mana full creature, and also we can warp this in to tap for the stations, Lava Scoutlander, Wormwell Sweeper, and the Lab Ship. So yeah, I like this much more. Next to pick 8. It's a pick between Lost in Space or Celebrate Download. This deck, much card advantage does this deck have actually? Web Walking is 1, but also Web Walking, I think there's just none. Not counting Landers or Lava Scoutlanders. Because technically, getting 1 more land is also card advantage. But I think this deck needs card advantage more. We just need to take our first copy of Celebrate Download. Instant speed, draw 3, and also Surveil X for the number of artifacts you control. Pick 9 is a pick between Light Jammer, Boomsinger, or Killship. I think we're perfectly fine taking Killship. We just need 1 copy of this. And this is also the payoff of ramping, basically. Back to pick 10, we are taking an early game stuff here. Don't think I would take a second Wormhole Sweeper, so it's a Nano for Sentinel for 3 or Mech and Shieldmate on 2. We have 4 cards to play on 3 and 3 cards to play on 2. So that leans me towards taking a 2-drop here, although the 2-drop is pretty whatever. Actually, I like the 3-drop much more because our deck has 3 spacecrafts that works well with the untapping. Pick 11. Gonna take a Germinating Worm here. This can be played on 2, also warp for the spaceships. And also gains life, which is pretty important. This one just take an Evoid Galeblade. Playable card, basically. This deck doesn't care about the double spelling, so that's pretty whatever. Pack 3, pick 1. The best card here is definitely Energy Acolyte, but we are not gonna flash for a 2 black pip cards, especially when we have a Noble Hellcat. And Gigastone Titan is a pretty good card by itself. 2 mana 4/4. If this is the second spell, but we're gonna take Gene Pollinator. This card is a the premium common in green, probably even beat Galactic Wayfarer. This is a 1 mana 1/2 that can tap any untapped permanent to make a color of any color. Super duper flexible, and we've seen this kind of effects before, like the Jasper Sentinel in Kaldheim that only taps creatures, and Citadel Stalwart in Waters Wars, which also taps artifacts, and those are pretty good in their respective format. And in this format, this is just like 10 times better because you can just even tap lands for color fixing, and you can even tap your spacecrafts or even tap your warped use social engineering for mana, because you can tap any permanent. That makes these cards much more better. I'm gonna take this. Pack 3, pick 2. I think I'm just gonna take a Crouching Relic, being a 2-drop decks need, and also being an artifact for Symbols of a Lab Ship. And the sack can stun something for a turn. Sadly taking this over Orbital Plunge, although Orbital Plunge is not on color removal. Pick 3. Well, easiest Cold Cracker Hunt. We have seen 3 cards, 3 hunts already, and this is the first one that we can take. And outside of that, maybe just a Fear 2-drop, and that's pretty much it. Pick 4. Well, Gene Poly, Galactic Wayfarer, or Cryo Shatter. I think I'll just take one more Gene Pollinator to make this deck more consistent. Don't think I'm gonna play Gale Blade. I also don't hate Immediate Terrabotanist for 2-drop, but this deck would love Gene Pollinator, period. And the pick 5, okay. I think we just gotta take another expensive card over early game removal. Marvel Stone is just busted. When this comes down, it instantly stabilizes you. And then it's a 6/6 flying beater that has War 2. Taking this over any interactions. In this pack, pick 6 is gonna take a better 2-drop, which will be the Stinger. Pick 7. Okay, 3rd Gene Pollinator, be my guest. Pick 8. And now, if there's any interaction, I would love to pick them, although we are not gonna see any. I passed all the interactions already. Like, Somatome Torpedo is an interaction, but it's so bad. Pick 9. Does this deck like a self-card mechan? So we have Wormhole Sweeper, we have Larval Skylander. Probably don't even need to play Wormhole Sweeper. And how many lander tokens we making? And Galactic Wayfarer and Discovering Blast. Oh no, Discovering Blast makes a fodder. Crouching Relic is a fodder. Oh yeah, why am I cutting that before operative? This deck doesn't like operative. Let's put back Wormhole Sweeper first. And even this one, Nebula Dragon, but I don't think this deck needs Nebula Dragon when we have so many top ends. Pick 10. Nothing playable here, just gonna take an uncommon. Usually this deck may be playable, but we have 0 non-basic lands. Pick 11. 12. And let's head to the deck building. I passed way too much interaction, so we're left with less interaction than normal. I don't think we need to splash for a Capland Seeker, so we just... Or we can still do it, I mean. Our fixing is quite good with 3 copies of Gene Poly. And we do need to cast something. Discombing Blast, Diplomatic, those are interactions. Starreach Well is the mediocre card. And need to bump to 971 for 17 lands. And okay, here's the hard part. We are cutting 6 cards. I think we can cut a 1-more sweeper. Gene Pollinator also can tap an for Sentinel. And we're cutting Conscript Technician. We don't need that to end the game. Still need to cut a lot of stuff. I don't think this deck actually needs Mechanical anymore. We have a lot of better top ends already. Still need to cut 3 cards. I still like Celebrate Download. Need like any sort of card draw. Not gonna cut any Gene Poly. I think I can safely cut the Nether Sentinel. That's 22. I think I can still cut the Starcraft Mechan. We're not that dedicated deck that makes landers, odd landers, and others fodders to sacrifice into this. That leads to 1 card. Yeah, I like Germinator Worm, that's fine. I like use Social Engineering for this deck. Yeah, and Social Engineering is so good with Godmore. And Pinnacle Kill Ship is needed. And if I don't have 3 Gene Pollinator, this will be the deck, but we have 3 Gene Pollinator. Maybe we can still cut a Gene Pollinator. We probably don't need 3 of them, right? Especially when we don't need fixing that much. What about Slab Ship? How good is Slab Ship? It makes Gene Pollinator flying. It makes Lava Skylander flying. Cryogen Relic also. This is probably not the best single-sided lab ship deck. That's my... Even though I took this like super early. Yeah, I'm not making too... Well, it does make Galactic Wayfarer much better though. Still, I want to give it a shot actually. I'm not cutting any single land, so maybe it's just gonna be a Capland Seeker cut to not play anything off color. Also, Nova Hellkite, the only card we splash for. But in that case, Gene Pollinator steals Rams, so here's that. And I think this will be the deck. Alright. 17 lands, 4 interactions, 1 card draw, 2 card draw, a lot of top ends, and enough early game stuff to survive the early game. And oh, actually no, we have to play 2. We probably have to play 2 mountains for Nova Hellkites. 10, 11 I don't think I can afford to cut to 6 forests though. And this is where Gene Pollinator comes in handy. Yep, let's do 6-9 spread. And yeah, I think that's much better. Heading to the gameplay. Alright, here we are in game 1. We can just Gene Pollinator first and then wait for a turn for use Social Engineering and then play this in the land. Keepable. And we can cast Web Walking as long as we have Gene Pollinator alive. We can have a Starfield Shepherd. Filters for planes or 1-drop. Okay, now we don't even need the Gene Pollinator anymore. So Mountain Torpedo, they can remove a thing. So gonna be use Social Warp. Play a land. Play a lap. Station. I think it's fine. Just attack for 2 here. Yeah. Perfectly fine with that idea. Next turn is 5 mana. We can just recast use social engineering for 5. And yeah. They don't have to deal with all this BS when they are stuck on one color. Alright, moving on to the next game. Alright, here we are, game 2. I think I'm just gonna mulligan this with 3 blue spell and no blue lands inside. Mulligan? Okay, this is actually keepable. I think I'm gonna be brave and bump a forest down. Other cards are just too good. But if I don't draw any land, I can't use social engineering. There's also... So maybe I shouldn't do that. Ugh, okay, they give me only 1 turn with Gene Polymator to do anything here. Unfortunate. You can only not 1 turn, once. I can only use it once. And it's just gonna die. And that's fine. We can just warp, use social, play that. And I can actually tap this for blue and the Crowd Shatter on the stack, the Scalping Blast the Gene Pollinator. Don't care about that though. Station Monitor, pretty disgusting card. Especially when they have any 1 drop, yep. There's that. Okay. Now we have our blue. So we can do this and that. And I think I'm just gonna attack on the ground. Okay, they're just gonna trade, that's fine. Unless they have something to get this back. They probably don't. I don't think I want to do Scalping Blast right now. It does like blow up their drone and it gets our drone, but... Okay, I think this will be the turn to... As much as I would love to cast this right away, I'm working into a counter spell right here. What's the counter spell of this format? Let's go to combat first, actually. Maybe they just Starport Security to tap this. They tap that. They want to wipe this off the board. And this is my combat. I can be scalping to save it. That's fine, he got it. In that case, I don't get my 2-2 this turn. At least I didn't use a counterspell, which is what I fear the most. Actually, what's the counterspell of this format? Is that a quench or a cancel? Ah, I already forgot. Oh, silly me. Alana is actually not bad when you have all the social engineering in the world. If the only thing they can do is pay 4 to tap on this, I don't really hate that. I don't need any mana. Pass. Halia. A pretty good card. Also blocks the ground. And it's a warped. Okay, that's at least warped. I'll let it go to the exile then. Okay, every land is just gonna be a 2/2, so it's not even the worst draw this deck can have. Yeah, they're really desperate if the only thing they can do is pay 4 mana to tap something every turn. I am the one getting flooded, but I'm doing pretty good here. That reads like a ball white to me. Gonna box, regardless. If that's a board wipe, I'll just bounce my creature spellcraft. Let's just bounce our own stuff. I like the Wayfarer. Nanophone Sentinel. I'm just gonna play this. And Nanophone Sentinel is a 3/2. Lander is a 2/2. So do this first. Alia gains a rival. If they can have like more creatures enter in the same turn, that'd be much better, but they don't. And lucky for us, we find a Cryo Shatter top deck. So we're just gonna Cryo Shatter that. And they have a mental modulation to tap an attacker and draw. This untap something. So let's just untap our Galactic Wayfarer. And they just take it. And we're gonna get a 2/2. And any card we draw will be good. Especially if we draw anything that any of the big things. Alright, they just cast Light Jammer for a second spell. And this also cares about artifact centers, okay. Yeah, they have like 1 mana creature or 2 mana creature. Okay, they're doing good. Sadly, but we have a lot of top ends in this deck. Just need one of them. Like Glacial Golem or Synthesizer Lab Ship. It makes a robot 2/2. So there's that. Tap this first. So we tap this and untap this. And then we can tap this again, but I don't think I need to do that to avoid any sort of creature removal that may happen right now. So just gonna make this a flyer. X. And then we'll have 2 flyers if they, assuming they gain 0 life or 1 life. Okay, that flies, and they can pick up Hadia. And that will be the second spell. Ugh. Very good sequence from the opponent. Very good sequence of cards. Alia for 1. They really love the Sun Starlight Smith value here. This is the 3rd spell. So they gain enough life to draw 1 card here. And they probably just attack with the Light Smith for 6 here. Yep, as expected. Or they don't have the mana to move the jammer. Okay, take it. Harmless Growth Strider. Okay, this can just block this all day. So we're just gonna Harmless Growth Strider. Untap. Combat. 2/2 flyer you. Attack with awe. And now we have a Sarah Angel. That makes a thing flying. Makes an artifact flying. Not everything though. Alia gains 1 life. Operative gains 1 life, draw a card. And they're most likely gonna have a third spell. If that's the case, they're outside of the lethal range again. Okay, they don't. Alright. Oh, they almost stabilized with the insane Halia Sunstar Lightsmith combo. Sunstar Lightsmith is such a good card. And you don't need to care about second spell that much for this card to work. You just need decent amounts of warp cards. Like Halia is a rare. It doesn't count too much, but all the work. This one is pretty great. For example, like Starport Security for as 1 mana spell. Station Monitor. Yeah, that's a signpost, and that's also really good. And I was trying to find the 5 mana Angel, but it was from last game. They didn't have it this game. Alright, 2-0 heading into game 3. Alright, here we are at game 3, Jingpolion 1, and we can tap Cryo Shatter to make mana. So that's something to keep in mind though. Ideally I want to draw a land, but this hand can function with a Jingpoly. Okay. If you have a Jingpollinator, I am gonna Cryo Shatter yours. I'm just gonna hold up a Discovering Plus for giggles. Germinating? That's fine. Just gonna attack and level Skylander, I guess. Unless I want to Discover. Oh no, I can just put 1 on the Skylander. That also works. I don't need red right now. Do I want to grab red that fast? Actually. On the other hand, we also don't need double green for anything. Brick Spade Maker. I don't think that actually does anything. Being pollinators, it's gonna die when it's get tapped. And yep, they are done with it. They probably just opened with the Gene Pollinator and the 2 land, and that's it. Pretty anticlimactic for game 1 and game 3, but the game 2 was pretty good. Opponents almost stabilizing that game. 3-0 heading to game 4. Alright, here we are at game 4. Pretty sad hand. That's our opponent mulligans, so we also just mulligan. Workable hand. Do I bottom a Diplomatic Relation or a land here, actually? I think I should bottom a land because this hand would want to draw green anyways. And no Hellcat is good against any one toughness stuff. And we somehow drew all the mountains in the deck, but that's not even a bad thing. Mechan Shieldmate. And we draw a green, nice. I don't know if I want to Evoid Infiltrator. I think I want to. In that case, I don't want to warp this anymore. Even though warping is more value, but it also just block the 3-2. Okay, Crush Shatter is good. Nice. If I know I'm getting a Crush Shatter next, then I regret doing that. Alright, get this to tap. Okay. And I think I'm just gonna Crowd Shatter that and hold up diplomatic relations. And actually, I still haven't checked the what's the counter spell for this format. Mechan number 2. I think I'm gonna just block one and diplomatic the other one. And if they use their counter spell here, it'll be great. Alright, so I'm just gonna do a very quick search. That EOE blue. Spare with me for a second. Divert Disaster. Okay, Divert Disaster is a quench, so we have to play around that. Let's warp this in that case. Oh, I can't believe I just forgot what counter spell this format has. And I can still cast this for 4, even if they still hold up. I just have so many things to resolve, so let's just cast this. Walk into a Divert Disaster. Oh, yeah, they do have it, okay. But on the other hand, I could have just waited for 7, so they can't counter that. Period, but I can't cast Glacial Godma. I think I want to. I know I can't even cast Research Engineering for full cost. I probably still should play around Divert Disaster, but they can hold this up for like Glacial God model. Okay, they got their Voidwatch Titan value. I can play the Godma right now, but maybe I still should have played the Godma. Oh, the Godma could attack right away. Godma will eat Mechanozoa, so on the other hand, it's like I'm a prophet. I know they are gonna have a Mechanozoa in their hand. And this is warped. Oh wait, but I'm still eating a Mechanozoa regardless. This is a necessary sacrifice. Cast this for 4, and then next turn we can have 2 more robots. I'm taking a lot of damage in the meantime, but maybe we can. If I Godma and play a land. Okay, so assuming they have nothing, if we play Godma, play a land. 7/7/3/3. But still, Glacial Godma doesn't have trample. Great Godma does trample, but the others doesn't. So I think I should just hope they overextend instead. Because playing Skullander first makes more. But on the other hand, I should have wait for this goes like Pump Scout Muscle. Oh. I probably shouldn't have done that. But maybe they just overextend and attack with everything. Or I just lose to a Specimen Freighter. And then stuff I did beforehand doesn't matter. Oh. Ooh. So basically this game I'm losing to green pips, I think. And maybe I should have just wait for a turn for the counter spell so I can still cast the thing on 7. Yeah, I should have. Oh, that was my mistake. 3-1 heading into game. Alright, perfect keep. Jing Poly, 2-drop. And Galactic Wayfarer, okay. And is there anything 2-2 that can be played instant speed? Alright, Arena didn't give them any priority, so they don't have anything. One way to cheat on Arena, basically. Frontline War Rager. Drawing all lands, but that's fine when we literally have a wave walking in deck. I think we just play everything and then be on blocks. Oh yeah, 100% winning the late game. Oh no, Sui blocks 2-3 already, so let's just attack. Right, get trade. Cav. We are gonna wave walking ASAP at this rate, so let's just wave walk this thing. Oh no, so let's cryo shatter this thing and attack for all. Alright, it's just a chump block now. And use this to grab a green. The next turn we can web walk. Biomechan Engineer. That means they will also have expensive stuff. Need to look up for that. But if I literally just draw another land, I can. Okay, I didn't draw land, so I don't need to web walking right now. I can just kill ship. Super duper expensive, and I can't even tap anything for it because I need to tap Galactic Wayfarer for mana. At least they don't have they don't have access to that anymore. One, 2, 0, 5, 6. We have 6 mana for web walking. I think I still just want to attack with Galactic Wayfarer right now. And there's a chance I walk into a counter spell. I'm actually gonna be cautious. And in that case, I should have cast Web Walking first because I can pay for the mana. Alright, the Glacial God mod. That's no good. At least we can bring up a 7/7 blocker. And maybe we just find the Cryo Shatter after the Web Walking. And we have 4 mana. Ew. Maybe the Glacial Golem is the only card I have. Cryo Shatter. I cannot diplomatic relations if I do that, so let's just Cryo Shatter. Even though they're still gonna have the Glacial Golem. And it's actually not that good. Let's get our own creature. And we can actually, if they're not gonna have that many creatures, right? They need to like suddenly make like 3 or 4 creatures. But in that case, I will lose regardless, so let's just attack. And then next turn we lethal with Diplomatics. But if they have Artifact Enchantment removal, something else to think about. Right, Dharma. Did they just... Okay, we won. Yep. Okay, then nothing after Gamma. Sweet. And I was being very cautious with the web walking this time because in last game we got a big spell countered. So now we'll be 4-1 heading to game 6. Alright, game 6. If this hand has a Gene Pollinator, I will keep, but it does not. Much better. Bottom of Forest. And Wayfarer into Lava Skullander. Here we go. Hopefully they don't play anything. Okay, they're playing slow. And we do need to draw land, not complaining. Galactic Wayfarer. And surprise! I have 1, 2. Another question is, do I block here? I don't think I want to block when I have a Lava Skullander. Okay, we are taking a lot of beating though. But we are gonna have a kill ship on 7. Ah, red. They're stuck at mono blue. We go down to 10. If they take a big thing, I can just kill ship that. As if I kill ship that, I'm not doing much to the board. And the awkwardness of these two. Yeah, I should have blocked there. So that I don't take that much damage right now. Ugh. I thought they're gonna be slower than this. Oh well. Oh, I play a Harmless Growth Strider that takes them ages to wipe out. Ha! Going with this. And this is so awkward. No, I'm not gonna throw this. But if they have a Cryo Shatter, I can still trade with 1, but... Wayfarer makes a 2-2. Okay, Nanophone Sentinel is a good one because when this becomes tapped, you untap something. So we can tap this to untap. But it's an awkward number again. But if you use it to tap it already, then if I kill ship and kill ship this and get a 3, I think I should kill ship right now. And legit, a land will be the best draw we can have. I still don't want to have this. It's just so awkward with what we have. And if they have a... Wait, if I had a bounce, they use last turn already. Well, then they're just gonna get us kill a thing here. And if we can survive this turn, next turn should be much better. Starbring it. Okay, that doesn't help them attacking through, which is what we desperately need to see right now. Okay, 2 Sawbringers. It does mean I need to make my board wide enough to not die. Literally. Play a land. They have 6, I have 3. If I draw a land, I can play Glacial Gormor and play a land. Web Walking does absolutely nothing right now. Nova Hellcat doesn't kill anything, but I can actually warp this. I think I do need to just warp this right now. Or if I tap this, I can cast this for 4. If I cast this for 4, that's still not a creature. But if I warp this, I can just have a creature, so I have a lot of blockers. Okay, this is the least awkward thing I can think of. And I'm gonna have 5 blockers if I leave everything on blocks. If I attack with... Okay, let's say I attack with this, they get rid of this, they attack with all, I block, block, block. I am down to 1. Is that acceptable? Too much thinking needed. If I top deck a land and assuming they have nothing, Glacial Gormor is just gonna win the game because I play the Gormor, play the land, tap 94 Signal to untap a land, crack the lander, so the flyer will be lethal by themselves. And also, it's also just lethal with normal Hellcat. Assuming they have nothing. If they attack with all, I will 100% block everything. As much as I can, of course. Starfield Vocalist doesn't help too much. It's a super body. Beam Pollinator, it is a body. Okay, that seals their fate. We have lethal on board just with Nova Hellcat. And it does put 2 counters on stuff, okay. So that's where the Starfield Vocalist value come from. Being and they're gonna attack with all this turn because they know they're dying. And I don't think that's lethal. It shouldn't be a lethal. Wait, what's 5/3 trample though? Huh. Yeah. 5/3 trample and when our stuff is like CC and C2s. Maybe they do it. I still haven't done the full math, but regardless of math, they should have just attacked with everything here. And that's 2. Okay, let's see. 2, 2, 4, that's 8. I'm at 10. So I will not die by doing this. Right? Yep, okay. We got him. Oh no, do we got him? No. We don't have flyers anymore. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I fluked that so hard. And not only the Glacial Gormor land top deck can save me now, because I should have left the CC to the Pluto. Don't misplay, people. Don't be like, I need the top deck of land now. Diplomatic? Does that save me whatsoever? The problem arises. No, top lane decking a land doesn't even save me. I'm one off lethal with this. Can I not die? I can't even not die here. I block 1, 2, 3, 2 leaks through. I screw up the blocks. Okay. Yeah, the 3-3 should not block the big thing. The 3-3 should block the 2-2. And I will have one life survive. I should have think about this a lot more. Okay, that makes it 2 games. I lose to misplace. But yeah, don't do what I did. Spend more time on thinking. Alright, game 7, Jim Polly, nothing on 2, but the others are fine. And we are going first. And we can play none of our Sentinel 3 and tap it for stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how we do it. So let's actually just play Wayfair first. Unless we draw 2 drop. That is hope. Yeah, there's no way we can make 2 mana out of nowhere for the immediate lander crack. Monoist. It does. This thing does block the Nanoform Sentinel. Makes it a little bit annoying. And I really don't want to cryo shatter a Grave and Monoist when they literally can come back. I get our blue for wave walking. And now we can actually cast wave walking, but ideally okay. Something is dying and it's Galactic Wave here, which is fine. And one more sweeper gets via creature. In that case, I can just quite old shatter that. And we got Lavos Calendar, nice. Crack a green for a blue red. Maybe we need like 3 pips for anything here. But they really don't want to cryo shatter that. It dies into 2-2. Okay, good thing cryo shatter is in our deck, and unless they do 2 of it. Unless they have 2 beetles. Two beetle will gonna punish this hand so much. No beetles, so let's just Webbed Walk. And we have 2 mana afterwards. Or 3 if I want to use this to untap a land. And we already played the land, so social engineering is doing nothing. But we do have Sting Versailles left ship, and to play that we need to have something. So we can actually do this. Untap. Lab ship. And we still have mana for Germinating Worm, and Germinating Worm is on there. So we can tap Web Walking, or we can tap Left Ship. Oh, there's just so much value doing all of this. And then I don't need to turn anything into 2/2 flying. And then we just wing with Use Social Engineering and Glacial Golem. Easy as pie. And we can use Social Engineering on 2, play a land, and then Germinating. 30 there, -3 on the flyer. Suppose. And that hits for like a ton. Alright, time for some defensive measures. And this thing can dunk us for 3. Oh wait, spell is free. Oh, I totally forgot about that. If you tell me spell is free, then this is 100% a Glacial Golem turn. That's the most expensive spell we can have. Yeah, I'm the one playing Web Walking. I should know spells are free. And it gets grab killed, but we can Scalping Blast that. We can play the long game. And also we tap this for mana. Oh, I already lost the priority. Oh, doesn't matter because we tap Web Walking. Also Lander token. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 mana, so we can still use Social and Germinating. And then next turn we play the free Glacial Golem. Or we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The most I can do is 6 mana. It doesn't change anything. Just play like normal. And I am gonna just attack with the lab ship here. I tap this, I untap something else. Let's see, if I tap this, I just need 1 tap. And just gonna tap this to untap that, I guess. Make something 2/5, this can't even attack. And next turn we just win. Unless they can pour out of lethal with 2 cards for mono black, which is close to impossible. And yep, we got it. Alright. Oh, Glacial Golem is coming and there's nothing they can do to stop it. Now we are at 5-2, adding to game 8. Game 8. I have. This can just be treated like a 6 lander minus no Hellkite, so keepable. And as soon as we hit our first, okay, Gene Pollinator. Easy. Until this card gets removed, of course. You meet the Interbotanist. I can attack with it actually, but I don't want to trade when I have a Nova Hellkite. They naturally draw their 3 lands and they do have a Lava Skull in there. That's like 2 more life for them. And yep, there goes station. I can play a Nanophone Sentinel and the Germinating Worm, right? So if I play Nanophone Sentinel, I tap Nanophone Sentinel for mana, untap a land, and Germinate for 2. That does. Oh, can you? Oh, we just warp this to get a warp cost dealt with. Don't need to do that many mental gymnastics. Slack drill, Cav, Land Seeker. This is the good one, and yeah, I can have a 3/3 fire attacking every turn. And we can have our own level scale lander. Don't even hate that, especially when we can cast another Sentinel with it. Or we just or we should just Germinating Worm. Warp. It makes more sense, to be honest. Blow this up for 2 red, just in case we lose access to that. And we have to leave this turn completely open, actually. Alright, that's the price I'm willing to pay. And they're attacking for 10. But we do have a Germinating Worm for later. Attacking for 9. Yeah, attacking. Oof. That's something you don't want to see. And they are literally gunning you down. I do need land draw, and land draw is actually good. Yeah, I can. I can play a 5. I can play this, and this actually produces enough mana to play Worm. Alright. And now we just hold back. Technically, Nova Hellcat is a better block on here, but plus 1 counter? Did we just die here? Let's see. I am not gonna use Lava Skylander to block this. Okay. Now that should be. Yep, that's the game. I laid myself open and they took the opportunity to do it. Holy cow. All-face stock is so good. And that will be it for this quick draft overall. I think this deck can do much better, but I misplayed too much on the 2 losses. Oh no, I don't think. No, did I misplay on one of the losses? I definitely did misplay on the second, and I probably also misplayed on the first one. I'm gonna go check the video later. And this deck is basically Gene Pollinator, ramp for Web Walking, ramp for Glacial Godma, or the top ends at the end. And the problem of this deck is definitely early game. 2 Coral Shatters and a Cauldron Relics is gonna help with that, but sadly we didn't draw any of them in the last game against the super aggro opponent. And Nova Hellcats, yeah, I still think this splash is fine. We just need 1 pip for the warp. We need 2 pips for the actual creature, but we have Gene Pollinator and 2 copies of Mountain for that. And also, Usage Engineering is so good. Got a lot of tokens with that. Web Walking is good once everyone is out of cards. Overall, this deck, I think this deck can do much better than just 5-3, but 5-3 ain't too bad either. And also, for this recording session, I'm literally sick. Got a cold recently, and it feels miserable. But I still want to play some Magic, so that's why I'm here. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in the next one.